Only one out of every 100 boys who starts in Scouts achieves the rank of Eagle Scout. For most Scoutmasters, it is a big achievement just to have a few boys during their tenure reach the rank of Eagle. Tom Caldwell is not most Scoutmasters. He has led over 142 boys to this achievement and is still going. Most people that have the chance to go hike at Philmont Scout Ranch in New Mexico have only hiked there once. Tom Caldwell has hiked there 15 times and has hiked over 1,300 miles out there. Most people who have the chance to go canoeing in the Boundary Waters in northern Minnesota have only been there once. Tom Caldwell has done it over 20 times. Tom Caldwell is affectionately known to all the boys that have passed under his leadership simply as Mr. Tom, a term of both respect and friendship. The 40 and 50-year-old men that were once his scouts and come back to visit still call him this today. Mr. Tom has played many roles in hundreds, if not thousands, of boys' lives over his 50-plus year career as Scoutmaster of Troop 416. Mr. Tom has devoted over half his life in investing into teenage boys' lives in order to help shape them to be successful, respected adults. He personally helped me throughout my years in scouting on my way to becoming an Eagle Scout. When I was in Scouts, Mr. Tom was around the ripe young age of 80 years old. At first, he looks like a fat old man. Don't let that fool you. He can keep up with the best of them, both physically and mentally. On my very first backpacking trip, Mr. Tom kept a faster pace with his 25-pound backpack on than I thought I could keep up with. He moved faster on a hiking trail at 80 years old than what the average 30-year-old could. His mind was also quite sharp, and he loved to poke fun. Whenever someone would ask him how close the campsite was, he would always respond with, "It's just over the last hill," and then always had a deep chuckle that was impossible not to recognize if you ever met Mr. Tom. He loved to tell stories around the fire from his 40-plus years in scouting. It was very entertaining and awe-inspiring as a young scout to hear these stories. Not only was Mr. Tom a fun person to goof around with, he was also a great leader and motivator. He knew what was going on with each individual scout and made sure that they did not grow sluggish in their pursuits of advancing in the ranks. He was encouraging through pure positivity and teaching most of the time, but if you started to slack off, he would get on to you. This is one of the traits that I look back on and am very glad that he did it, because I needed it sometimes. Without Mr. Tom pushing me, I don't know if I would have ever achieved the rank of Eagle. Not only was Mr. Tom fantastic at helping boys move up the ranks, he was also a great motivator when it came to general activities. If Mr. Tom noticed that a boy was struggling on a hiking trip, he would walk with him and encourage him. He always made sure that every boy had the chance to be a leader on the hikes so that the slower ones were able not to feel left behind. Doing this also helped teach leadership and decision-making skills to each of these individual scouts. Helping develop these boys into solid, honest, upstanding young men was always Mr. Tom's main focus. He always made sure that no boy ever felt left out. If you ever needed advice on anything from how to tie a knot to life issues, Mr. Tom was there ready to help out. He loves scouting and all that it stands for. If you look at just the number of Eagle Scouts that have passed under Mr. Tom, he would be considered one of the most successful Scoutmasters in the United States. I don't think that that's what matters to him, though. He truly cares about each individual scout that passes under him and the men that they grow up to be. I would not be the person I am without the years that I spent with him, and I know hundreds of others that can make this claim. Thank you, Mr. Tom, for being the man that you are.